room number, but the ultimate room number was 211, the still reserved
211.
suite.
Yes, it was.
And bro, we didn't we throw parties for like
Bruh.
3 or 4 weeks straight.
Bro, that was the best decision we ever made. I mean,
Wasn't it?
when it was a quad suite, and like you said, you had the right side, I had the left side. We had the shared union space,
Common space in the
common
kitchen.
space.
Yeah.
And those parties, my boy, were infamous, bro.
Man,
I mean,
people
like we
still
will
talk
wake,
about them.
bro. They do. If we woke up, we had to clean. We had to take magic erasers and
The blue jean marks on the wall. So
what is going on? It's your boy Harold Hill, man, and I am so elated to have a brother on this show today, the one and only Louis Gilmore. What is up, my boy? How's life?
peace, brother. Life, man. life is great, right?
I hear that.
You know, it's all about perspective and what we make of it and what we choose to attach ourselves to within it, right? If you choose to attach yourself to the highs, then that is what it is, right? Versus being too attached to the low points, man. Just seeing it no different than nature, man. Like a river, it flows. So,
and this is why.
Life is
this
good.
is why I asked you to be on this show. When I tell you, man, your articulation, brother, has always been something that I admired from the first time that I met you. And I know I told you this a couple of years ago. We were at an event that we were able to put together, and I just sat you down, man, and just gave you this flower that has been something that has been on me for years. And I was just like, yo, I practice the way I speak because of how clear and articulate you are with everything you say in life. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you, man.
Oh, 100%, bro.
I'm going to say, man, you know, so, you know, they say we have to give credit where credit is due in everything. And so, like, the compliment that you give me, and not being braggadocious, but I hear it a lot, right? In terms of like how articulate I am and how I speak. I owe that all to 100% goes to Rue Mama, to Rosalind Gilmore.
100%. Salute to Mama.
I was just talking to one of my club brothers. So for context, I'm in a motorcycle club. For any of the folks who tap into the podcast, those that know me know, those that don't, this is part of my world. I love to ride my Harley Davidson across the country, and I'm currently in Tampa, Florida, St. Pete area, supporting my chapter. My chapter is supporting this chapter at their anniversary, and was talking to a brother from the Fayetteville chapter last night, and I was just telling him how my mom, when people would like ask, you know, what they could get me for birthdays when I was little, you know, still an arm baby, she told buying books. She didn't really let people, you know, buy me a lot of toys and stuff. But because of that, I started reading very early. I was reading in pre-K. I was reading books by myself. So, so between that, you know, her influence and making sure that I had books to keep my mind stimulated. And she never missed the opportunity to put me in front of a room to speak, right?
Yeah,
so
man.
All of those things just really helped with my development, and I've never, well, you know, bro, I've never been shy to talk to people, bro. Like I'll
not
talk.
for 1 second.
I mean,
you hear
hell,
me?
That's how we met. That's how.
Absolutely.
Listen,
Absolutely.
Like, you know, most people don't realize, bro, how we met. Literally just walking out the dorms back in J Woo.
Yeah, man.
And we just, you know, hit it off, man. So once again, man, I'm glad to be here, man, and supporting what you got going on, brother.
That, man, I appreciate that. The time we met, I want to tell you that I thought I was one of the coolest cats that I've ever like been around. But when I saw you in that robe with a cigar in your hand, bruh, I looked around and I said, "Yo, is this really what we doing? Like, is this like you in the middle of the quad, bruh, with a long bathrobe on with your initials on it and
Absolutely.
with a
Yeah.
stick in your hand? You don't have nobody around you. You was in your element." And I said to myself, that is the guy I need to be with. And you were the first cat, and we know you were the first cat I met and introduced myself to outside of homie that I stayed with in my dorm. Shout out to Kyle. But
Right.
you were the coolest cat I've ever seen in my entire life. And I glued myself to you, bro. Like, no pun intended, man. And it was just like, it was one of the best decisions that I've ever made, because from that one interaction and that one just introduction, it has blossomed blended families. I mean, it is birthed numerous branches, man. And that's why you're on the show today, man, because we're going to talk about the bridge that you have been able to create with so many people. You know what I mean? And I am honored to be
Absolutely.
one of them, to be able to see how you glue connections together. You know what I mean? And it's so authentic and genuine. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just you having a love for people and a love for service. It's I'm at awe to watch your life just grow, man, from your family aspect to the professional career to the motorcycle career. I mean, it's just such a wonderful thing to watch, bro. I mean, and we're gonna talk about this J Wu thing a little bit more, because
For
we
sure. For
have
sure. Good
over
times, boy.
oh man, we have over countless stories, bro. We can
Countless
we can
stories,
we can
man.
pull up.
Countless stories.
And just offer the bridge, man. Like, what made you, outside of Rue Mama, and giving you that level of creativity at such a young age? Like, what made you have that level of spirit when it comes to being a bridge for creativity and productivity in your life?
Uh, Honestly, I don't know if it's necessarily one thing.
Okay.
Um, I, so when we talk about what people are innately born with in terms of like talent, right? What is your talent?
Yeah,
What is your calling? Um, the artist is innately born with motor skills that they fine tune, and they can take a paintbrush or a pencil and draw things that when other people do it, it's stick figures compared to what they do, right?
absolutely.
Um, so for me, I would just say that I really feel it was just in my DNA to be the type of person who has never met a stranger, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Um, and a quick story about that. I'm maybe 5 or 6 years old, right? And it's funny now I'm telling this story how life comes full circle.
Yeah, man.
Me and mom at the laundromat, we washing clothes, and in walks this biker guy, white guy, biker guy, full of tattoos, right? Again, like I said, I never met a stranger. The same way me and you met, and I just was like, yo, what's up, bro? What's your name? Type. I went over to this, what presumably looked to be a dangerous individual, right? A white biker full of tattoos. You can fill in all the blanks about how society
Oh,
views,
absolutely.
right,
Yeah,
that
yeah.
that image. I walk up to him, and according to my mom, I look this man dead square in his face from my little 5 year old stature and say, man, what happened to you? Right? Because he's covered in tattoos. I'm like, somebody done
Yeah,
drew on the
man.
man.
Absolutely.
And my mom was so scared because she thought, oh Lord, this man is, oh. And that man, he opened up his arm and showed me he had this cool, like, I guess it was like a Kermit the Frog tattoo or something like that. But he took a moment to indulge this 5 year old child, right? in being in that innocent space that a 5-year-old child would be in something like that. But I honestly think I was just born with it, man. Same, another laundromat story.
Yeah, man.
Me and my mom at the laundromat, and there was some sort of Asian family in there. I can't pinpoint their true nationality, right? But I'll just say
Mhm.
Asian for lack of a better term, word, and be as respectful as possible, right? Because that's the
Yeah.
society we live in,
Yeah.
right?
We're here. We have to live in it. Yeah,
So yeah,
absolutely.
and I don't mind being here because I hold
Yeah.
space. I would rather associate and give people the label and or title that they respectfully ask. So, but because
Absolutely.
I don't know, I'm just going to say that they were Asian family and went up to them because they were speaking in their native language. Me, once again, I'm 5 or 6 years old, and I go up
Yeah.
and I start speaking some gibberish, thinking I'm talking what they talking to them, right? But the moral to both of those stories is that I was innately born with a fearlessness, I would say,
Yeah.
in terms of I've never minded or been afraid to be the one to be the catalyst to build bridges and connect people.
Absolutely.
You
And
know,
that's a huge testament to you now. I mean, you have so many other laundromat stories. I mean, because you ran for politics in your union, you had to do things of that regard. What made you get into that space when it came into your union work?
so the term, or the colloquialism, right? The catchphrase or that we use or we hear a lot. People always say, "Be the change that you want to see," right?
Yeah, yeah,
Right. And I'll be honest, bro. In this union world, in my experience, and for context, I've been with the airline going on 17 years now.
salute to
Um,
that.
got involved with the union very early to the point where I eventually became a full time union rep. I'm a full time union rep now. And you know, listening to people in the break room,
Yeah,
right, go back and forth about the shoulda, coulda, wouldas.
absolutely.
It's no different than what we refer to as Monday morning quarterbacking. Everybody becomes an NFL coach
I love
on
that.
Monday
Yeah,
morning,
I
right?
love that. Yeah,
About how well they should have ran the play this way, and then okay, cool, no problem with that. However, at some point, you have to ask yourself, am I just going to continue to be one who only vocalizes my thoughts, opinions, and ideas, or am I going to step into a realm where I can actually do something? Right?
yeah, man.
I
Absolutely.
can really essentially give myself a call to action. And so it really became a thing for me. It was like, okay, I'm very knowledgeable about our contract. And then in union leadership, um, one needs to have knowledge of things like Robert's Rules of Order and how to run a proper business meeting, how to make
Yeah.
motions, and all that type of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, I have experience from that from being in the Masonic Lodge. So just different tools, key things of leadership that I either have already had or have been developing over time and years and experience. I decided to cast my name on several ballots over the years to become an elected official for the local lodge executive board for our union. And ultimately ran the gamut through the executive board from the conductor sentinel
Mm.
all the way through and eventually became the president of the local.
That's awesome, man.
Served as the president of the local for about a year,
Mm-hmm.
and then some things shifted, and I got elevated to a district position where I am now as a district communications coordinator. And this is the piece to what I do that really speaks to my calling, right? Being a communications coordinator actually taps into what my true talent is and brings it back into terms of connecting people. My job is now designed to connect everything that goes on within the leadership of the union and just anything that's going on that the union is doing with its membership, right? Because this is the one time where I can honestly say we want the left and the right hand to know what each other is doing.
Absolutely.
Because communication is key, and that's how we grow and evolve in anything in life, but especially in unionism. Bottom line, man, I saw things that I felt could have been done better.
Yeah.
And I decided to step in. I mean, it's only one way to get in the game, bro. You gotta get in the game. You gotta lace up. You gotta lace up.
Yeah, man.
And
shoot that shot.
And shoot the shot. So I did, and I've had some successes from and honestly, bro, you know, we always say, man, no losses, all lessons, right?
Yeah, man. Most definitely.
I would be remiss if I didn't, you know, be transparent and say not every campaign that I ran for myself in terms of getting into certain offices worked out the first time. It took me several times to get elected for certain things. And that's a whole nother thing because politics is politics, right? And it really is a numbers game a lot of times. I mean, we look at what's going on in the country now. It's the reason why you have what they call those swing states, right? Those are the states that really influence electoral votes for the office of president. And that's the reason why those campaigns have a major focus in those areas, because they know if we win this state, we're winning a region. So tidbit for y'all listening on that. But politics and how to win an election, if you're going to get involved in anything where people are electing something, you do have to learn a little bit of what I call political math. And
absolutely,
you know, it took me,
that's across the board. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. It took me a couple of times to figure it out, and I figured it out, and I ran successful campaigns, but not just to get the job, right? Just to say I was elected, but I actually wanted to bring something new to the table, right? And sometimes you got to play the game to get in the position to affect the change that you want to do. And that's what I did.
And people saw the change in you. It was more of the story that you were telling. It wasn't the tactics that you were telling people you could do, you can change, but it was the authenticity of you. And when they saw that, and that's how people react, man. I mean, because I know we were talking about politics, man, but we can equate this to business. I mean, if you could understand how many times we've been in the game and shooting shots and completely airballing it, but not giving up and finding that rhythm to understand, okay, well, that didn't work this way. Let me try to do this way. That didn't work that way. Let me try this way. And just staying in the game, not giving up on yourself, understanding that, okay, this campaign didn't work. What did I learn from this one? So I can implement to not do that on that one, and just tweak it a little bit to try something different. And then eventually with the consistency, it'll work, and it'll start to shine that light on yourself to where people will start to see you, because that's all it is, man. Attention and connection. And within your space, like, how do you still get that level of success when you're standing in front of somebody and talking to somebody when they're just on their phone? Have you had any conflict with that? And if you have how have you been able to deal with it?
So I'll be honest, man. I think one, recognizing that that's just the world we live in. It's this, man. It's all
100%.
Right? And we're here.
We're
baby.
Yeah.
And that is what it is.
Yeah.
But you know, so part of what I do, once again in the union space with my job, my career, we go around and we educate new hires on what it means to be in the union, right? We give them some history of our union and things like that. And it's, you know, I watch and observe in a class, and you can tell when people are just kind of not tuned in. Excuse me. That's to me where one has to sharpen their skill within public speaking and
Okay.
develop a certain level of charisma
Yeah.
and be lighthearted. Like what one of the reasons why we love stand-up comics is because their ability to take and give you a story, right,
Mm-hmm.
that is based on at minimum 90% truth, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they sprinkle in a little 10% of embellishment and delivery. And that's what makes how they tell their story different from somebody else telling their story.
Yeah.
And I think that that's where, anyone, when you're dealing with that, is like, it's okay, bro. Like, and really being present in the moment and
Mm-hmm.
and taking a moment. Sometimes we have to know that it's okay to pause, right? I think
Yeah,
you've
man.
done it, like speaking, using the example that you have given in terms of you being a health, lifestyle, wellness, mindful coach, right? When you see that you're coaching a client that has kind of like disengaged from the mission at hand because they're in their
Yeah.
phone, take a pause, right? Pull. You can pull out of the information for a minute and just tap in with them. Switch the gear
Absolutely.
for a second and really get their focus back on the task at hand, and
Yeah.
then you pick up and carry on, right? Um, because the other part that folks have to realize, because we're such a thumbs, right, and with all of these devices,
Mm-hmm.
people, whether they realize it or not, do suffer from information overload. And sometimes you got to know when folks are just kind of tapped out. And
Yeah,
once
man.
again, you steer off course for a second, give people a mental breather room, and then pick up when you see that they have that capacity to carry on. So, um, those are tools that I've used. And then also, once again, going back and knowing that um, technology is here, it ain't going nowhere. And that's when I think, or I feel, that anyone who deals with anything that still has a person to person interaction, you have to figure out how to add layers of your message within the technological space, right?
Yeah,
And
buddy.
so
Absolutely.
I once again, using you as an example, you have taken your brand, right? Be Great, Tap In Wellness, right? And all of the pieces of your brand that have come together over the years, and you've developed, teams of people have developed applications that I'm pretty sure when you look at your numbering, because there is some analytics in our business, where you've actually been able to re-engage and tap in into clients that may have fallen off in the past,
Absolutely.
because you weren't afraid to figure out how to commingle technology and virtual with presence and proximity, right? And and
Yes.
and and tangible connectivity. Rather than trying to, it's kind of like the analogy of trying to make polar sides of a magnet go together. What do? They oppose each other, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Bro, quit playing around. Get each sides of the magnet back upright how they belong, and things will come together. Don't be afraid of one side or the other.
Yeah.
So,
And that is, I mean, that part in and of itself, taking it down and breaking it down to its simplest form. Life, like, life is so simple. You know what I'm saying? When we allow it to be. And when you truly allow yourself to take that pause, like you said, and see how we can connect from a different standpoint, because the only reason that somebody is disengaged is because you lost their attention, or their attention is somewhere else, because it's bigger
mm-hmm,
than just what we're saying. It's bigger than just a natural flow of interaction. It's more of a connectivity piece when it comes to actually becoming that bridge. We evolve, we grow, we like different things. I would have never thought you would have wanted to be in a motorcycle club when I met you 25 years ago. You know what I'm saying? Like this,
Right.
I would
Right.
have never thought that I would have been a health coach 20 years ago. We evolve as humans, and when we go through this human experience, we have to allow, especially the people that we love and care about, to grow with them. And it doesn't necessarily have to be we are right here together throughout our lives, but we give each other space to grow, and you do the same for us. When you introduce me to Corey, I have to bring this up, bro, because it just as I was talking, Corey just popped up on my head. And the night you called me down from the dorm and you said, "Yo, man, I want you to meet this brother real quick." And I was like, "Shoot, you ain't steer me wrong yet, man. I met Twink through you. I met Tone. I mean, I met a bunch of people through you." So I was like, "Bet, I'm coming down." This brother in a Kango hat.
Hey, you remember when he used to flip the sleeve?
Yes, I remember. He still do it a little
Still
bit,
do it.
bro.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Man, when I came down and you introduced me to this brother, and he said, "Let's take a ride," and I was like, "Bet, all right, we're gonna take a ride." But we took a ride in a white, long ass Cadillac with a blue cloth top,
Yes, sir.
and I'm
Cadillac, mate, we got to put respect on it. It was
please. What was it?
It was a 2006
Yeah,
Cadillac DeVille
yes, it was.
North Star.
It was it was absolutely
It was a North Star,
Yes,
bro.
it was. Yes, it was.
And it was like the second generation of the North Star when they had made improvements to the motor and the suspension, and we were floating down Cedar Street, bro.
When I tell you, life is an investment, right? Life is all about this, like you making choices and you going through your journey together and separate. But when I looked at you guys, because I was in the back seat, y'all was up front, and y'all was singing Frankie Beverly, bruh. I was like, I am winning in life right now. These are the two coolest these, and I don't want to curse, man. These are the two coolest cats that I know, and I'm so fortunate to be in y'all presence, man. It's like it was so authentic. We didn't have to like fake it. We didn't have to like put on for anybody. Corey is Corey 100% of the time. He does
All
not
day, every day.
change. He doesn't code switch. He doesn't do anything. If you don't like him, he's going to say a bunch of words that I don't want to say up here on this podcast,
Right.
but he's going to say
Right.
those things and
He gonna
keep
say
being
it,
him.
yeah.
And how we've been able to like grow together and like it's just been so cool to see that you have been the glue and the bridge and the connector for so many people in life. We talk about, yeah, man, Lou, Unc, Pop, you, when we talk about these things, man, you have so many different facets of your life that people know. And when we go and you're not in these rooms with us, and man, your name come up and we just like start smiling. It was like, yo, yeah, man, you remember that time?
I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, you remember that time at Cedar Street when we was on Cedar Street sitting outside on the curb and something popped off. Boom, 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 boom. You remember that time? You remember that time we was in a caf? You remember that time we was at City View at Reese crib back in the day before you and I was able to live together? You know what I mean?
621.
This like 621, my boy.
621.
I mean, come on, man. It's like there's so many things in life that happen, and for you to be the connector of people, man, it's such an honor to see, especially how you have been able to find success outside of just friendships.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it. Inclusive of, like I said, just me being born with a natural talent for that, right? The whole concept of not meeting a stranger.
Yeah.
The other part, I feel growing up an only child and not not really having the best relationship with the kids in the neighborhood that, you know, tried to pick on me and bully me. I think I just naturally developed this mindset of I'm going to um, I'm going to connect good people with good people, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So and so I'll just use some of the names you mentioned, right? You talked about Corey. We've talked about you, talked about Tone, talked about Twink.
Yeah.
Interesting thing about it is that I have, and I do this. It just happens. I'll meet someone like an individual, make a connection with them, and
Yeah.
then I start kind of folding in layers. Like, oh, hey man, like you said, I called you. Hey yo, come downstairs, bro. I want you to meet my boy Corey. We ended up, I think we went to cookout that night. We got
Yes, we did.
cookout and then just kind of
Yes, we did.
cruise.
And that was the first
And
time in life I had cookout. I've never had cookout before. Changed
yeah,
my life.
yeah.
Changed my
Yeah,
life.
it's a game changer, bro. Game changer.
Yeah.
It's funny, man. People who moved to Charlotte from other places that didn't have cookout, and so it's almost 2 o'clock in the morning. People are like, yeah, man, we're gonna run the cookout. I'm like, bro, who having a cookout at 2 o'clock?
Facts,
No, no,
bro.
no, no. Nah,
So
man, it's a
ignorant.
spot.
I was so
Just
ignorant to it.
just get in the car. Let's go.
Facts.
So, but that's the thing. The same way I came up to you, just bro, how I met Corey. I used to see him in the me and him would always end up in the cafeteria around the same time every morning.
Okay.
And he would be sitting eating his breakfast. And one morning I just rolled up and was like, yo, you mind if I join you? And he was like, absolutely. We hit it off. Boom.
Yeah, man.
Me and Twink used to race each other. The vending machine in Cedar Hall South on the second floor.
That
Me and
sounds like
Twink
him.
used to race each
100%.
other. They used to have them banging them little apple pie, the little apple pie turnover, the little snack, like little Debbie cake joint.
Trust me, I know what you're talking about. I stayed there too.
So
Yes, I know what you're
so
talking
so so me and Twink we would always kind of like it. We would both go by them, right? And then
Yeah,
one night,
yeah.
man, it got down to like they stopped putting a lot of them. They literally, I honestly think they was messing with it. They put like one, and it kind of just became like me and him competed to get the snack, the late night snack. And then it was one night, bro. I don't know how. I mean, the universe just. I hear his footsteps coming down the hall. He hear mine.
Yeah.
We both get to the vending machine, and it's like, and somebody had already got it. We both was like, damn, man. I've always just been that type of person, man. Like I said, I don't meet a stranger. When you see the value and the good in people, if you're someone who genuinely wants people to live a full life, you want them to meet those people that you feel can bring value to them, right?
Oh man, that's heavy. Absolutely.
In today's world, we say don't be a gatekeeper, right?
Yeah, yeah.
To me, gatekeeping is not just relegated to holding information, right? And knowledge, but you
Yeah.
can gatekeep by not allowing good people that need to be around each other from being around each other. And you do yourself and the universe such a disservice because the energy and the ripple effect that comes from those connections far exceed any benefit that we would see just for ourselves, like in our immediate circle. And the things that resonate with me is we're talking about all of our J Woo fam, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
We all have learned things from each other, right? When you talk about
100%.
Corey he's always possessed this innate ability to his yes is his yes, his no is his no. There is no in between.
None
He does not
whatsoever.
apologize for how he feels and how he it is what it is.
Yeah, most definitely.
I've had to learn that, right? I've had to
Same here.
develop that skill,
Yeah,
right?
same here.
We talk about Twink. Me and you talk about this brother all the time,
Yeah.
just in our conversations, and how his fearlessness to try anything unmatched.
Yeah, it
I've
is.
I've never I've never met an individual who was willing to take jumps, right? Talk
Yeah.
about jumps and leaps. Part of that is learning from the people. You know, we can't. I would be. We both would be remiss if we did not shout out our sister Ashley. Right, the connection
Yes,
with
we would.
Ashley. She upperclassman, and anybody who knows anything or was a student at JWU, if you didn't have a weekend meal plan, you was shot.
Oh, you were out of
Come
pocket. You
Friday, you was
yeah,
out of pocket.
you were done.
Um, Ashley would cook and feed us every weekend and
Yep.
entertain our intoxicated shenanigans when we knocking on her door
Yes, you
at
would.
all hours of the night. And she would fry fish and make grits and just really be such an awesome big sister that she has been and remains to us to this day. And she's an important part of that connection as well. So I want to make sure that we highlight that sister. And Ashley, when you see this, please, let these be just a portion of the flowers that me and Brother H here will always be indebted to you for all of the care that you've always given us over the years. So I had to say that, bro. It was on my
Nah,
mind.
man. Nah,
Um,
bro. I love it.
so
I'm not. I want to be as heartfelt as you were, but I would be not myself if I didn't talk shit about her for a second, because she told me how to play spades, right? So she taught me.
I
She
remember
taught.
this.
She taught me because I did not. I thought I knew how to play spades, but I didn't know how to play spades, right?
Hmm.
And her and her girls, we would go there all the time, and she would cook, like you said. She would be cooking, and she would say, "Yo, let's play spades," right? And I thought I knew what I was doing, but they drugged me through the ringer. Both, all of us. Yeah, I mean the younger
and
cats,
they
man.
and they always from Cleveland, bro. They,
All
bro,
of them
call it
were
what
for
it is, bro.
Cleveland.
They
All of them for Cleveland.
they was hustling us, bro.
Yeah,
That's
they
that
were.
Cleveland. Love y'all, but y'all knew what y'all was doing.
And they talked so much smack throughout the entire process, man. It was so crazy. But that's just a testament of her character, man. She has such a big heart for the people that's around her.
Hmm.
But don't get it twisted, man. She has a tongue of
She
fire.
cut you.
You hear me?
She'll
Oh my
cut
god,
you.
she'll cut you.
She cut you. Oh my
Man, what
good.
you talking about, bro?
Razor sharp. Razor sharp.
But like you
Razor
said
sharp.
earlier, man, salute to the sis, man. She has been a catalyst to us, especially when she really was the springboard of us becoming as close as we are now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Absolutely. Yeah.
she was the one that was saying, I mean, I know you haven't spoke to Lou, you ain't spoke to H in a minute, man. Why are you not talking to each other like this? Go
Mm-hmm.
holler at your boy, holler at your boy. And then we ended up at her house around food she was cooking. And then that spirit in the house, man. And then when I saw you and when we was able to sit down and talk, it was something that I cherish to this day. It really made me understand how to truly love someone that's outside of my blood family, right?
Mm-hmm.
I am not perfect, and we don't have all the time in the world, man. So I'm not going to sit here and just think that, okay, my way is the only way, or this way that I learned is the only way. Ashley taught me how to be a better person and apologize, right? Just
Mm-hmm.
apologize, and to really understand that sometimes it doesn't go the way we want. But if we're going to be family, we have to embrace and love each other past all of that, and
Mm-hmm.
say and ask for forgiveness when you need to ask for forgiveness,
For
man, and
forgiveness.
not have too much ego to not do that. And
Yeah.
when that day happened, man, it was such a beautiful moment. For one, thank you for even engaging in the conversation, you know what I'm saying? And just like being present and just continuing the friendship, man. And that friendship is brotherhood. And then Ashley
Mm-hmm.
was the house
Oh yeah.
that happened in. It was just so funny. She was like, "Y'all talk yet?" Y'all good? All right, come eat. You know what I'm saying? It
No,
was so
yeah,
cool.
yeah, absolutely. And I mean, bro, honestly, my personal feelings on that is, um, there were two people in that moment and that day and that time and that space
Mm-hmm.
that both stepped outside of ego,
Yeah,
right? You shared yours, I shared mine. And we learned a very invaluable lesson that when we shed ego, we are open to true transformative change.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Um, and I think that that experience that we had just personally, right, as brothers, um, has resonated within us and really helped to guide us in how we maneuver now
Yeah,
as
man.
men, fathers, husbands, and it's a beautiful thing. And sometimes, man, that's just how the universe happens, man. Sometimes it takes an outside influence or force to basically just, say, all right, man, y'all get your stuff together, man. Like,
Yeah,
don't,
yeah,
don't, you know, because at the end of the day, is when you really look at it, where there are multiple people involved, right? There's multiple perspectives, and everybody's perspective deserves to be seen,
yeah.
heard, right? And
Absolutely.
and that's what we did. We shed our ego and just sat down as two responsible men, had an honest, candid conversation, worked through our feelings together,
Yeah.
and on the other side, I would say only strengthened the bond that we'd always had.
100% did.
It
Yeah.
it and and I look at it from the context we're talking about a brotherhood, but this can apply to a relationship, marriage, business partnerships, and it really
Absolutely.
is not so much uh, loving and or respecting past or beyond, but loving, respecting through,
Yeah. That's
right?
heavy. You right.
In the motorcycle realm, we tell all the time, people like, y'all ride in the rain. We don't ride in the rain. We ride through the rain.
Hold on.
Bec-
Let's just leave that there for a second. Let's just
Okay, let it
let's just
breathe.
take yeah,
Let it breathe. Let it
let that
breathe.
sit. Let that sit for a second. Yeah. Continue. That was heavy. But that's
Hey,
so true. That's so true.
but it's true. We don't ride in the
Absolutely.
rain. We ride through it because on the other side is always sunshine, right?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely.
And grant a lot of riding bikes, you distances. You get gear, right?
Yeah.
I have rain gear. All of us have rain gear. Well, a lot of us will tell you sometimes it ain't even worth the time to stop and try to put the rain gear on. If I just push through,
Yeah.
by the time I get through and get where I'm going, the wind, I'm dry. I'm dry again.
You just said,
Absolutely.
yeah, it's gonna take a lot to get mentally and physically prepared for the storm. But if I just ride through it with faith, it will be over soon. I would have gone through that storm stronger, now knowing how to navigate through it more successful than if I would stop, pause, take my time to put my gear
Do
on, take my time to get
right.
mentally prepared. And then 9 times out of 10, that storm will be over. And you wouldn't have learned that lesson as if you would have just went through it and driven
Just
through it
went
and
through
rolled
it.
through it, man. That's huge, man.
Yep.
That's so heavy.
That's why I'm so passionate about motorcycling, man.
Yeah.
You say, like you said, even me, I never thought I'd join a club, right? I
Mm-hmm.
always knew I wanted a motorcycle, but
Okay.
however, I will say, man, I've learned so much, man. I didn't
I can
realize how
tell.
much the
Yeah.
the motorcycle would teach me, right?
Yeah.
And once again, we keep talking about bridges, right, and proximity and connection. This world has connected me with so many awesome people,
Mm-hmm.
so much wisdom like a lot of people see, you know, media and TV,
Yeah, man.
you see the parties and granted, yeah, we party. But what's cool about these parties is if you really like take a step back and look at it, you watch the room or the rooms,
Mm-hmm.
it be people kind of like ducked off in corners building what we call building, man. We sitting and talking with each other. Uh the elders share stories of the past and the things that they went through and the things that they've experienced
Yeah.
and how we can apply those things, right, to keep this thing going and moving in the future. And for me and for a lot of folks like me in this realm, that's better than the party. Those one-on-one conversations or little small conversations, small groups, you know, within the larger group that are taking time with each other to truly build, right?
Yeah.
Um, the motorcycle is the connector, right? That is the bridge
Absolutely.
that brings the doctor and the guy who works sanitation together, or the lawyer and me, the union guy, uh, the business owner, the truck driver, all these different folks, man, that have these things, you know, these other like identities that they
Yeah.
have outside of this. But the motorcycle and the clubs bring such a large audience together. And next thing you know, people are networking. Oh, you do this? You do? All right, bet. Oh, you do commercial real estate? Man, I always wanted to open up a restaurant. Come holler at me, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that is, you know, a lot. A lot of people ask me like, what exactly do you get out of it? And these are the things, man. A sense of freedom, because there's no other feeling. I tell you can fly and you can drive cross country, right? And that's all
Yeah.
those are great, but it's a different vantage point on a motorcycle, man.
Oh, I can
I
only
was telling
imagine.
you, I think we talked about this before about how it's one of those things, man, where you are simultaneously using all your motor skills and all of your senses are working uh, at one time collectively
Yeah.
together. So um, it's um, it's amazing. That's the best way I can describe it, man. It's amazing.
What is up, guys? Harold Logan here. I just want to take a break in action just to thank you guys for watching this video. I hope we can bring laughter, joy, enlightenment to learning how to live our best life and learning how to look at ourselves in the mirror and really love what we see, because that's what it's all about. Looking at your reflection and love what is looking back at you. Back to the video. Thank you guys. Like and subscribe. Talk to you soon. Have you ever met somebody that doesn't have that skill set? Like that is a ultimate introvert that doesn't know how to capture the opportunity when it comes to that connectivity. What game have you given them to be able to step outside their comfort zone, man, and be able to trust in themselves enough to have that conversation with somebody?
Talking with a new guy last night, right?
Yeah.
A little more on the introverted side. Um, and I noticed, and he's from my chapter. He's newly um, patched in. For those who tune in this world, you have to earn your patch, right? On the back of your vest, that center patch. You got to earn it. You ain't just giving out. But he's newly patched in, and
Nice.
I noticed he was kind of tucked off in the corner, and I just I pulled up to him like, "Yo, what's up, bro? Like, you first of all, are you good?
Yeah.
Like, because one, like anything, man, this world can be overstimulating. It's lights, it's sound, it's people, right?
Okay. Okay.
Loud music everywhere. But between the DJ and then all of the guys that's got souped up sound systems on their bike that want to try to override the DJ,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's a lot. It can be sensory overload. And so one, I was checking in with my newly patched brother to one, make sure that he's good, right? And he's like, "Yeah, I'm good. All right, okay. So why you over here in the corner, bro? Like, you mingle." Like I said, I had to remind him. I said, the whole point of these road trips is for you to meet other bros from the organization, from other chapters,
Yeah.
and network. I said, because here's the thing. We all rode down here together, but at some point in your journey, you might want to come back to Florida on your own time when it's not an event to go to.
Yeah.
Don't you think it'd be nice to have a few phone numbers to call in case you have an issue with your bike? Or have a few phone numbers to call and say, hey, I'm in your city. Let's have lunch, or let's go get a cigar. I
Yeah.
said, don't miss an opportunity to meet somebody outside of our chapter that can bring people and get you out of your nerves so you can open up to communicate with them. I said, it's a tool that you got. You don't even realize it. He said, what's that? And I pointed to his motorcycle. I said, hey man,
Absolutely.
the same way car guys talk about cars,
Yeah.
we talk about motorcycles. I said, so I gave him a task. I said, this is what I want you to do. I said, by the end of the night, I want you to have met at least one brother that you don't know. And I want you to just ask him about his motorcycle. What type of motor? What motors? Yeah, we ride Harleys, but is it a road glide? Is it a street glide? Is it a road king? What type of is it? Is it a stock motor? Does he have motor work? I said, bro, just go talk shop.
Yeah.
Talk shop about the bike. I said, I guarantee you, you'll start talking about the motorcycle, and before you know it, y'all will switch gears. You won't even be talking about the motorcycle no more. Y'all be talking about life, that y'all, your lives prospectively. Man, by the end of the night, man, he came back and found me. And lo and behold, that little assignment that I gave him, it caused him to meet a gentleman who is what I consider to be one of the true staunch OGs in my organization.
Wow. Okay.
Um, like, and they had a conversation over a beer, and he learned a lot about the OG that had nothing to do with motorcycling, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So so that's one of those things, right? I believe that a tool that everybody can utilize in terms of being a bridge and creating connection with people is to honestly look at it from a standpoint of being people centered, where we truly love, respect, and want to know about a person
Yeah.
or a group of people, right?
Yeah.
Like from a holistic space, not surface level. Like let's
Absolutely.
get beyond, get below the surface and really get down to the nitty gritty. Because at the end of the day, part of the human experience for all of us, we all long to be seen, felt, heard.
Yep.
Right? So that's one. Keep it centered around people. And when doing that, you'll learn that you are not focused on outcome. Going back to talking about introducing you to Corey, in that moment, I wasn't really caring about the outcome. I
Yeah.
just wanted you to come downstairs. I want you to meet Corey. If y'all happen to hit it off, cool, great. If y'all didn't, cool, great, because I can compartmentalize. I ain't
Yeah.
gonna stop being cool with him because you don't like him or may not have liked him. The
Yeah.
same way I wouldn't stop being cool with you if he didn't care for you, right? Hey, I'll hang over here for a minute. Cause I did that in high school, man. I
Yeah.
sat at every lunch table, bro. I sat with
Absolutely.
everybody: football players,
Yeah.
cheerleaders, band. Hell, I was cool with the cafeteria ladies because they knew my grandma. So I just I, I, I but my whole point is though is like I said, when we shift our focus from the outcome,
Yeah.
don't be so concerned about the outcome. Keep it about the people that you're trying to build these connections with.
Yeah.
The outcome will write itself, and that has worked for me. That has worked for me. And I would say, if I had to offer a piece of advice on how to do that, the number one thing is learn to be a very active listener.
Game.
A lot of us tend to only want to listen to respond
Yep.
versus to understand. When you take and mold an intentional practice of active listening, being truly engaged with what someone has to say, you learn so much. I mean, you learn insurmountable things, not just about
Absolutely.
them, but about everything that, encompasses them in their life and the things that they care about. So being an active, like practicing the skill of actively listening
Yeah.
and listening to understand versus to respond is probably the most key skill that has helped me in family, career, extracurriculars, everything. Because I genuinely take a time to listen to people. I want to hear what they have to say because I know if I foster an environment where they are seen, feel, heard, in turn, the energy will only be reciprocated back to me so that I can be seen, feel, heard.
That is the game right there. Man, you are a communications leader. You lead the charge of communicating one thing to a next and bridging the gap between the two. You are that gatekeeper, and you are keeping your gate open, man. You're not even closing it. You're the gatekeeper with an unlimited access point to entry.
We have this thing, we always say that there's always a actionable item with a direct ask, right?
Yeah.
So to any of your listenership, right, that and viewership that listens and views this, I would implore them to sit down and just do some personal SWOT analysis, right? See
Yeah.
where their overlaps are, and within that, they'll be able to problem solve anything that that comes across their table, and and what happens there, I've seen it, you learn to look things differently, not so much as problems, but see insurmountable solutions in life.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so yeah,
More game. More
you
game,
know,
my guy. I love it. That
so
personal development is huge.
absolutely, yeah. Funny story about personal development, and we part of life is knowing oneself, right? Like truly
Absolutely.
knowing, and life will give you glimpses on who you are if you pay attention to it. I'll never forget, man, um, when that point, boy, I thought I was gonna be a little hustler, boy. When I was when we so we talked about 621,
Yeah,
right?
we
So
did.
there was
Yes,
these
we did.
room numbers at City View back in the day. 621 was a room number, 712 was a room number, but the ultimate room number was 211, the Steel Reserve
211.
Suite. And that was
211.
our crib. And um, I talk
Yes, it
about this a
was.
lot about how I like the way we laid it out, bro. We paid that extra fee to lock them other doors, so it was
Yes, we
just me
did.
and you in the crib.
Yes, it was.
And bro, we didn't we throw parties for like
Bruh,
3 or 4 weeks straight,
bro, that was the best decision we ever made. I mean,
wasn't it?
it was it was a quad suite. And like you said, you had the right side, I had the left side. We had the shared union space.
Common space in
Yeah,
the
common
kitchen. Yeah,
space. And those parties, my boy, were
epic,
infamous, bro. I
man.
mean,
People
like we
still
will
talk
wait,
about them.
bro. They do. If we woke up, we had to clean. We had to take magic erasers
The
and
Blue
like
Jean
the
March
blue.
on the wall. So,
Man, that was
bro,
so much
it,
fun, bro.
bro, man, we had so much fun, and it, bro, we was just, it's like we was turning up, bro. We was just having fun. We was happy to be, off campus, right at the time.
Unpack that a little bit more, man, because without Pop, man, and salute, rest in peace to Pop, man, because
Oh
he
man, yeah.
gifted. You remember them serving Vegas?
The Servant Vega
Come on, man. Come on.
AT12s, man.
Man, when
Yeah.
we had that room rocking, bro.
Bro, did we?
Man,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Because
nothing but
didn't you
darkness.
didn't you get a receiver from your pops
Yes, I
to
did.
hook up the
Yes, I
speakers?
did.
So man, it's crazy, man. It's funny. Like when I look at Room 211,
Yeah.
we had our version of all of the cool like bachelor pads that I know you and I saw in like TV growing up,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely.
We before Gina moved in with Martin,
Yeah, man.
that was our crib, right?
That
And
was our
so
spot. That was our
when
spot.
Twink and Tone would come around, right? That was basically like Tommy and Cole
Yeah.
or whoever, right? You know what I mean? You can fill in the blanks, right?
Absolutely,
Um,
my boy.
but we created that space. And I'm forever grateful for that space.
I am too.
I
I
had
am
some
too.
fun. But I never forget when I called myself trying to be a little neighborhood hustler. I was trying to sell weed, and the boy Jersey came knocking on the door. He blew my cover,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
yo,
Yes, he did.
hey, but here's the thing. On the other side of that is I appreciate the fact, man, you didn't flip out on me. You was just
Mm.
like, really, bro? You selling weed?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it made me think, and I thought about it, like, man, I don't want to mess up neither one of our flow. We both are here on scholarship.
Yeah.
Our parents, they raised us to be, responsible folks.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, like, man, I don't want to ruin what could be because I want to make a quick little buck. So
Yeah.
between that and the fact that, um, you know, great rapper Biggie Smalls had a song called "The Ten Commandments."
Yeah, man.
Uh, hell, bro, I broke every one of them. I broke all them rules,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
hustling wasn't for me, man. I wasn't built for that, and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. So
I mean, like, we had to understand and go through that together, and we're just both very blessed to not get pinched. Just to keep
right,
it a buck
yeah,
with you.
yeah, absolutely, bro. Because that could have,
Could have went.
I look at that could have went real south, real fast, real bad.
Absolutely.
So, but like you said, man, I'm grateful for all the experiences simply because they are mapped into the DNA that makes up me. The
100%,
same way
man.
yours are mapped up into the DNA that makes you. So um, I just count it all. Like I said, man, all lessons, brother.
Yes,
That's
it
all it
is.
is. All
Never
lessons.
else, man. All lessons, bro. But just having this conversation, man, it brought up so many good memories, man.
Mm-hmm.
I really needed this. I'm so glad we were able to capture this, man. I hope it helps somebody up, especially all this game that you gave about bridging that connection, especially within proximity.
Mm-hmm.
And just using what you have from your homeboy talking about the motorcycle, using that tool, whatever
Mm-hmm.
tool you have in any arena, any space you're in, you use what you have and you open up. Take your shot, man. Take a leap. And you'll be surprised the conversation that can come out of just a genuine introduction. Hey, how you doing? What's going on?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Our genuine
Yep.
introduction, we've been tight for 20 plus years. So
Yep.
it can happen. And I am like my brother was saying, I implore everybody to just take a minute, man. Take a pause. Know that you are worth it. Know that you are worth being heard. You have a story just like somebody else does, and don't ever think that your story is not as good as somebody else's because of what you see. Your story is just as impactful, as genuine, as loving, and as beautiful as anybody else on the face of this earth. So go speak, man. Go introduce yourself. Go be heard. Share your story because it can heal somebody.
Before we cut out, man, if I could, man,
Absolutely. What's up?
we both, into poetry and stuff over the years, and
Okay.
um,
Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me
there,
get hold on,
there's
hold on.
there's
Let me
there's
get my
poems there's poems that I have utilized, man,
mm-hmm.
that I was required to memorize when I was going through my process, joining the Masonic Lodge. And
Okay.
one of them, man, is a poem by William Allen Dromgold, and it's called "The Bridge Builder." And the builder lifted his old gray head. Good friend, in the path I have come, he said, there followed after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm that has been as naught to me, to that fair-haired youth may a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I am building this bridge for him. The purpose of building bridges is not solely for us, bro. We build bridges to help those that we've never even met. And that is why I've lived my life the way that I live it, being free spirited, never meeting a stranger, not being afraid to connect once that were strangers to me to each other, because those connections are needed somewhere in the ripple pond of the universe. So take some time, read the whole poem. It's a very good poem. So
I'm gonna put this offline because I'm not saying nothing after that. That we're done. We're cut. There's nothing to be said after that. So this you not even gonna see this part on the show. So it's done. We're done. After you finish, cut.